Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope. I'm Brother Joe Trout, coming to you for Monday of the 6th week in Ordinary Time. And today's first reading is one that I suspect you know pretty well. It's a story of Cain and Abel, two brothers who offer to God, and one is favored, the other is not, and it ends badly. Right? What's going on here? For me, one of the great frustrations in this story is that you don't know. It doesn't tell us why did God favor Abel and not Cain. It's not clear. As a kid, that actually really bothered me a lot. I wanted to know, why this one and not that one. But I think as an adult, it's actually made this story more interesting. Because like Cain, it's pretty easy to look out at the world and see, whoa, why is that person's life favored by God and not mine? Why do some people seem to have great gifts from God and not others? Right? The idea that God loves everyone is not manifestly obvious when you look around the world, that there is a great diversity of what gifts people have in their lives, and who seems to be favored by God and who isn't. Isn't clear why that's the case. Right? Where is the loving God in all of this? I think that's actually something that the story is trying to bring us into. Because if you step back into the fall, Adam and Eve chose to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They chose to eat from the thing they were told not to eat from because they were tempted by this notion that God's wisdom really wasn't a loving wisdom for them. That they had to take care of themselves so that they could become like gods. God was just keeping them in their place. So they eat of the fruit, and it costs them access to the tree of life. But that is what the human condition is now. We do die, and we are trying to make sense out of this world. That we want to experience and to know and to evaluate the world by our own vision, and it doesn't work. That's exactly Cain's problem. He cannot see the world as God sees it. He cannot listen to the wisdom of God, because God says to him, things can go well for you. You do not have to give in to sin. Nothing in the story says that just because Abel's sacrifice was favored then, Cain's wouldn't have been later. It doesn't say that. Right? That in fact, when we try to make sense out of kind of the diverse situations that people are in this world, we're kind of stumped. But if we can put on the mind of Christ, if we can see the world as God sees it, we can come to discover that God's individual love is a wonderful thing. That God is working in each of our lives, drawing us to himself. That God actually doesn't just treat us all identically because God sees us and knows us. And that ultimately that God is drawing everyone back to himself. And so it's only in the mind of Christ that we can actually have a rich delight in the diverse things that God is doing in this world. That without the mind of God, we kind of do want everyone to just be treated identically because why should anyone else be treated better than me? Shouldn't we all just get the same things? It's the loving God who teaches us to have patience with him and to trust that at the end of the day, all things really will be well. Right? Have a wonderful day, and God bless.